welcome back to the Roger Reviews channel. And guys, we're back at it again. This time with the Star Wars: The Black Series Crosshair from the Bad Batch line. Checking out the front of the box, it looks fantastic. Featuring the figurine, the accessories inside this window, the Star Wars: The Black Series logo up on top, the name of the lineup he's from, and of course his name on the bottom. On the side right here, you do get this amazing looking mural, which we did talk about previously. This isn't just, some typical artwork, but by adding other figures from the same lineup, you can create a much bigger mural. So here we have Crosshair alongside the Elite Squad Trooper. And then here in the back of the packaging, you of course get a bigger portrait, description, the number which falls into the line, and some warnings here on the bottom. Here's the bottom of the box and the top. But I'll get him out and go from there. And here he is out of the box. And take a closer look at Crosshair. Again, a fantastic job. Love the armor, things like that. But before we go too ahead of ourselves, let's go ahead and start from top to bottom. Taking a look at the head sculpt. It looks amazing. Look at that. Now, of course, being part of the Bad Batch, they're not all gonna look exactly like Tamora Morrison, but it's crazy to see the sort of like generation of how, Crosshair came out. Just seeing that he is a totally different individual. I love the face sculpt right here, especially with his iconic sort of like scar of the actual crosshair in his eye. That is truly mind-blowing. You get his nice short gray hair, and there's printing the eyes and the eyebrows. And to top it off, he does have a wide range of articulation, so you get plenty of movement, motion, especially at the neck and the top of the head, side to side, back, and forward. And now, checking out the torso. Just like Hunter, there is a lot of wear and tear throughout the armor plating. But especially here in the chest plate, it's very unique. Obviously it is sort of like specialized for Crosshair, but he does have like this sort of like bandolier, sort of like piece that goes over his chest plate, and it comes in this sort of like brown color, sort of like a leather. He has a silver belt buckle, some shells right here, and a holster, which Hunter did not have. And then moving in the back, you get the peg to place his backpack on. But yeah, other than that, he does have a ball joint right here in the upper waist. So here's side to side, back, and forward. Taking a look at the arms, the arm goes out pretty far. And of course, with a little bit of help, you can get it all the way around, as you just saw. This time, the shoulder pads are a little bit different, especially right here with this sort of like antenna piece. Similar to like Cody's, I'm guessing. The elbow does go up pretty well. He does have a swivel right here near the elbow and articulation at the wrist and at the hand. The other side as well. Arm, ooh, that's a squeaky arm. Arm does go out right there. Of course, you can turn it around pretty freely. The shoulder pads are, of course, connected individually around the shoulder joint. Elbow goes right there. Swivel, and articulation at the wrist and the hand. And unlike Hunter, which we recently did, Crosshair does not come with any type of like melee weapon, so no knives, things like that. So there is no attachment to place any type of melee weapon. Looking at the waist, of course, like we did mention prior to the beginning, the bandolier is connected to this sort of like leather belt piece. And it does have an included holster right here for his pistol, and has some nice shading right here in the silver belt buckle. And now taking a look at the legs, Crosshair is able to go into a full-on split. He is able to sit down pretty good. Legs go back that way. And also, he does have joints right here around the thighs. There's like a swivel. The knee joints, they go a little bit past a kneeling position. And then, of course, just like Hunter's knee pads, The knee pads are connected to the thigh armor piece instead of the actual kneecap. And lastly, looking at the feet, they do point down very nicely. They do point up, and there is rock wrinkles. Gives a good action poses. And now checking out the accessories, he goes to the helmet. Checking out the helmet, of course, being part of the Bad Batch, all their helmets are unique in their own individual ways. So for Crosshair's helmet, there's a lot going on. He does have this unique visor, sort of representing the Crosshair. It has this more sleek sort of model, taking parts from like a Phase 2, probably right here, and a bunch of other pieces. And real cool, the rangefinder does come down, and it goes back up, so that's really nice. To put it on, it's made of a flimsy, durable plastic, so you just push on the helmet like so, and there you are. Up next, he goes to the backpack piece. Checking out the backpack piece, this is probably a better version since I'm already gonna say it. It has a holster to place his rifle in, so already off the bat, this is way better than Hunter's because there's no way to actually store any of his weapons, which I forgot to mention beforehand. But I like this because you're able to store the sniper rifle here, and obviously he does have a holster for his pistol already. So storing your weapons is probably like the most secure thing on Crosshair. There's also a lot of nice attention to detail, like some battle damage, things like that. Very similar to the other backpacks, and it does have a peg to place on his back. To equip it, pretty simple. All you do is just match it up with the peg. It's very secure and will come off. Up next, he comes with a pistol. Check out the pistol. It's like every other type of like clone pistol. It's this generic sort of like model, and it comes in a black color. He holds onto it very nicely, as you can see right here in the palm of his hand. And in case you don't want to use it, you can just store it right here in his holster. So you just shimmy it in there, and there you are. And last but not least is his sniper rifle. Checking out Crosshair's sniper rifle, this is huge. It's almost the same length as the figure, but it looks incredible. Overall, I am loving this design. You get this sort of like thumb hold stock alongside right here with the main body of the rifle. You get a scope up there, this huge barrel, and then like the suppressor. And just like the other pistol, he's able to hold on to this rifle very well, so that is a huge plus. This thing is massive on camera. Oh my goodness. And in case you're not going to use the rifle anymore, you're going to store it this way on this fatter piece of the gun. You're going to place it inside of that little sort of like crevice, and there you go. So as a review of the figure, right off the bat, I'm going to say that Crosshair is kind of, tied between Hunter and him so far, being some of the best figures from this lineup. Just by judging off of the overall attention to detail, articulation, and just the figure in general, they did a great job. Again, bringing an animated character to a more live action take. I love the accessories more or so. Just with the overall length of that sniper rifle, that is some of the coolest design that I've ever seen put onto a blaster rifle. And besides that, I am really excited to see the rest of the Bad Batch. This is my first time actually seeing them, so these guys have been sitting in my shelves for quite some time, so getting to see them now in hand is even better. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram, and I'll catch you all on the next one.